Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
You gotta watch your thinking. Watch your thinking. Watch your thinking.
Welcome to A Creator-Based Life. We are so happy and excited that you're here today. We're talking about something really near and dear to our hearts, and it is sure to change your life and to make a real difference. As you can see, there's only two. Jacine is gone this week. It's summer after all. But Jen was good, and Jen is here. You guys remember Jennifer DeRoos. She's a great hypnotherapist. She's a wonderful creator-based coach. She's an all-around gardener, and she's just a good friend, just a good person. We are excited that she's here. And I'm Beth. You know me. Beth Bitsain-Brooks, author and creator of The Creator-Based Way. And I had something really exciting happen this week. I got a piece of paper in the mail that said it's time to renew the trademark. And I'm like, oh, to renew our trademark. So that's this week. That's coming up. We're celebrating our Jubilee year. It's been 7 years since that trademark was started and since CMH Coaching became a real business. And we are excited to be here for you. I don't know what number podcast is, but I think it's like 130, 135 that we've done now. We've been at it for a while. And for girls who got together and said, let's just do one. I mean, nobody will listen to it, but let's just do one. To be in the 130s is a big deal. Season 5 since we started. Yeah. So this month for Self-Care Summer, we are issuing a challenge for each person who is participating to experience the renewal and the nourishment of saying out loud every day the creator-based manifesto. I don't like the word manifesto very much, but that's the best we can do. If you have a better idea after you've recited it for a month, write it and tell us, what do you think we should call it? But what it starts with is, today, I choose to be the creator of my life experience. Now, I haven't looked at this, to be honest with you, in a while. You know, we teach the 5 principles of creator-based coaching all the time with clients. We talk about them as individual principles, but to have read, today, I choose to be the creator of my life experience on a very bad day was really empowering. I was super surprised. I'm like, oh, I know all of it, because, I roll my eyes at myself. Oh, I know all about creator-based experience. All right, whatever. But then the spirit was kind to me, and I felt like, oh, wait, am I choosing? Well, not really, but today,
not choosing is still a choice.
Yeah. And I was really grumpy about something. And so I really wanted to just live in my victim space, and blame and whine and
so
you
comfortable.
did this to me. Yes. But I printed this off and I stuck it. I just folded it up. I printed it little and I stuck it with my toothbrush. So in the mornings when I've got to go my 3 minutes with the toothbrush, I'm reading it. And it's remarkable what it does for my heart. I was really, really pleased. So I made a choice. I'm going to do this for 30 days. I started a couple of days ago. So we're going to do it the whole month, the end of June, like the next 10 days, and then probably through the end of July, just for round numbers. So y'all, if you want to join us, it's in the email this week, the Creator-Based Manifesto. Print it off, put it on the background on your phone. I put it on the background of my desktop. I've got another really pretty, if you wanted, a really pretty image that has cherry blossoms. And so it's there. But I just thought today, maybe Jen, you and I could go back and forth looking at what each of these phrases says and maybe talk a little bit about what they mean. So I did the first one. Today, I choose to be the creator of my life experience. Thanks for calling me out, because yes, I was very happy in my victim place. But do you want to read the second phrase? You want me to?
I got it here. I'll read it. The second phrase is given gifts and talents unique to my God-given purpose. I am different by design.
That's the third phrase.
That's the third?
Yeah. The second phrase is I have within me.
Oh, the first one is the big title one on this.
But that is the title. The title is the first line. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just do that part. Today, I choose to be the creator of my life experience, because what happened after that is I know the second line. I have within me light and truth, all the power I need to grow and progress, because I cling quite often. I'll reach out for light and truth from my creator. And on that particular day, when I was really having a tough time with it, I wanted that support. And so to say out loud to myself, I know we were just talking about this in Mastermind. When you say it out loud, you make it real. To say out loud, I have within me light and truth, just made my heart perk up and take notice, and step out of that victim place, and all the power, which made me stand up straighter and go, I'm not a victim here. I have what I need to grow and to progress. And so it brought me back until I did the next round of victimization, because I have to wallow for a while, but it brought me back for a while. Yeah. So that's second line. Given gifts and talents. Do you mind saying it again?
Yes. Given gifts and talents unique to my God-given purpose, I am different by design.
Girlfriend, do you have gifts and talents?
Yes. This is probably one of my favorite ones of the manifesto.
The phrases.
Yeah, because I spent most of my life trying to be like other people. Like I wanted to fit in. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to not have any type of criticism or judgment. Until I learned, you are uniquely different from other people for a reason, for a purpose. And then when you find that, and I was able to actually accept and celebrate that. Then I was able to see we all are that way. And why are we trying to be the same? Why are we trying to be the same? It doesn't serve anybody. It's like we need all these individual people with all these cool talents or abilities and things like that to make the whole work. So it's still good to find your tribe, find your people that have some sameness. But don't be cookie cutter. Don't try and think you have to be cookie cutter. So I really love this part of discovering and exploring that, how and why we have been given these things from God and the purpose of them. And I think once we step into that and accept it, those gifts can then grow and they can be just joyous to you.
We claim them, right?
Yeah.
Claiming that difference, which, it was really fun. I am coming up on 1 year of gray hair. I'm going to do that in another month. I'll celebrate my first anniversary of gray hair. And it has taken this entire 10 months to decide that I like my hair gray. When I first went from color to gray, because color, I felt like made me like everybody else. I guess it was red. That was different, but there are lots of redheads in the world. But it really helped me to feel like I was younger and I was powerful and I was important in some way, that color. And so after I removed the color and went gray, I went through several months of, I don't like being old.
Your perception.
My
Yeah.
perception really shifted with going gray. But I really felt like it was the right thing to do. I had been very, very contemplative about it, very prayerful about it. But I can tell you, there were lots of days and weeks that I walked in front of the mirror and went, yuck.
Mhm.
I loved it when I first did it because it was different. But once I settled into it, I just don't, everybody else that I saw with gray hair, I'm like, I don't want to be like you. And what I had done was, unbeknownst to myself, but I had created a belief that gray hair meant old and all gray was the same.
Mhm.
All women with gray hair were the same. Probably created it when I was 12 or 13 years old, right? But it's taken the whole year to get over it. And not too long ago, I was looking at pictures because we have a screensaver that plays on the TV. The Apple TV plays favorites of pictures. And all the red-haired pictures that came through, and I'm like, oh, I like it so much better gray. And it was just really cool to have worked through and embraced that difference for myself.
Can I share an observation?
Please do. It's not brutal, is it?
No, oh my gosh, no. Like when when all of it had grown out, all the yellowing, all the red and everything, your blue eyes became so vibrant.
Thank you.
I was just like, I love how your eyes pop now. Your blue eyes pop. Yeah.
More blue. They're like my dad's eyes. My dad had, here, I'll look at close in the mirror. I mean, in the window. My dad had Superman eyes that I swore he could shoot laser rays out of. And he was mad, or intense. You're like, you never want to see those eyes. But yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sue's got that color eyes too. Different by design. It might take us a while, like you said, to figure out a way that we can see our differences as they really are, to really embrace the differences. But they're God-given. It's divine design, why we're different. And so that, you want to finish that section? There's another line right there.
Going on to the fourth one.
I embrace those differences.
Yeah. I embrace those differences and create according to the inspiration and guidance of the master creator.
You had that pattern.
Yeah, I get curious about, like, why did you give me this struggle, or why did you give me this ability? Because I don't like feeling everybody's feels, or something like that, And so it's
why didn't you make me skinny and energetic and like everybody else? I wanted to live in the Barbie dream house.
Yeah.
And if you saw the Barbie movie, everybody was Barbie, 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 except one, which I kind of really love that. But yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that helps me to understand
your differences. You embrace those differences. And then, have you had experiences creating according to the inspiration and guidance?
I think so. I mean, I really honestly believe that the area that I decided to, go into my purpose, my work, whatever, was guided by
inspired
by God, and showing me that, you have these, I gave you the ability to be curious, and I gave you the ability to see patterns, and I gave you the ability to, feel everybody's feels, and
all the feels
for a reason, and now learn how to use that. And so that's why I went into this area. So, yeah.
And that's what makes you so gifted at it. Yeah. Because those gifts and those talents were specifically for what you're doing now. And when we can locate that purpose and embrace those gifts and talents and funnel them into something powerful, it's amazing the things that we can do to bless the world. Is so cool. So under that inspiration and guidance, sorry, go ahead.
What's interesting though about that is, and I don't know if this rings true for other people, but just by being able to embrace my gifts that I have been given, that in and of itself blessed me first and gave me the confidence and all the things I needed then to be able to share my gifts.
Yes.
And so it's it was like a win-win situation. So I really believe that once you identify your gifts, really discover them and learn about them and accept them and be grateful for them. It really is, gosh, I guess healing. And it's you get the benefit first.
Mhm.
And then when you share, you're benefiting others, but you're also still getting benefits. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because like I've worked with Jen as a coach, you guys. She's really, really good at what she does. And as far as discovering your inner self, as I would discover more about my inner self, when I came back, I not only came back with more acceptance towards myself, but then that acceptance begat confidence, which gave me more power to do the work that I needed to do. Yeah, it really does make a lot of sense, which goes right into this next line of I can trust, because we're the line above, according to the inspiration and guidance of the master creator, then I can trust and walk arm in arm with him. And I love that imagery of walking arm in arm with my creator. It feels so safe. I like to think of skipping arm in arm with my creator, but being with him. And as I listen, he will direct my path. But for me, listening is the key. And it's listening to him, not listening so much. I mean, I do listen to myself some. We need to, because we need to understand ourselves and we need to be curious, like you said. But quite often, I don't listen. Yeah, quite often I get up in the morning and I have an idea and I go running after that idea and I get moving on it and I'll get a little ways in and think, oh, this is just falling flat. Why is this just falling flat? And it's because I got so excited about my idea that I was pushing, or I got worried about something that I needed to prove and I was pushing, and I tuned him out thinking I knew best.
I like how you said the walking arm in arm with him. So sometimes, yeah, what happens to me is I'm no longer walking arm in arm with him. I've deviated or I've run ahead or I've fallen back. It's like, and I have to go, okay, wait a minute. I got to come back into that space again.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But as I listen, when we're back arm in arm, he will direct my path. But it's like, I don't know if you've ever seen the little harnesses on little kids with the leash.
Yes.
It's like he gives me the harness with the leash. So
Yeah.
I can go and I can go this way and I can go that way, but he will direct, right? On the big turns, we need to be together. And the rest of the time, I have a fair amount of leeway for what I need to do. Yeah, I love it. Okay, let's do the next one.
Walking together, he is a dependable mentor and leader. My creative ability is amplified and expanded. I see more clearly, understand more deeply, and I'm lifted to compassion and hope.
That's a mouthful.
Uh-huh.
You want to speak to walking together, he is a dependable mentor and leader.
First, I love how all these build upon each other.
Yeah,
Yeah. They all build upon each other. I have learned in my life that when I do walk with him, and do it as a partnership and not as a, let me tell you how we're going to do this type thing.
Yes.
I really find that, like the other parts of it, I understand more deeply. I see things clearly. And even when I say things like, this is how I'd like to do it. And he's like, okay, that's a good idea, but what about this? It's like,
yeah, and you start to leapfrog.
Yeah, it's to be more deep. He guides me into he's like, good start, my child, good start. But have you thought about this? And so that's what I like about that, where he is that mentor and that leader. He doesn't just flat out say you're wrong. He says, okay, let's take your idea and let me guide you to a better space or a greater understanding. And so then that's what a leader does. A leader validates where you are.
Yes.
Guides you to further exploration and understanding. And so, yeah.
Do you see a difference between a mentor and a leader? I'm wondering about them having two.
I'd have to like think about that a little bit more because I think they overlap.
I think so too.
But for some reason, when I hear mentor, I think of a guru sitting on a mountain and just I tell him things, he tells me things, and he doesn't like walk with me. To me, a leader shows me how to do things.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, once again, we're flipped.
Are we flipped?
Perseverance and persistence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, mentor and leader, we're going to be the same way. To me, a mentor is much more intimate. It's a more emotional relationship. There's more connection and it's softer. Where a leader is, I think, more hard and fast rules.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's fun that we have that. Like, once again, we're flipped. I really think it's background, our backgrounds molded us that way. But yeah, there's a difference. And for those of you who are listening, it would be really interesting for you to think about what's the difference. Either way, our creator, our master creator, our God is dependable. We know. And one of my favorite phrases about him is if he's done it before, he can do it again. And so as I look at my own life experience, I look at the life experience of people before me, it really builds me up because I know if he's done it before, he can do it again. And when I rest in that, that's when my creative ability is amplified. That's when, weren't you and I just talking about expansiveness just last week?
Yeah, I saw this reel from a counselor or therapist that talks about how your emotional journey, which I equivalent emotional and spiritual, is yes, there is a depth to it. You have to have a depth to understand, but sometimes you don't have to go any deeper. Sometimes you're as deep as you need to be, but what you need to do is you need to expand more. Go wider so that you have more capacity. And I was like, oh, I love that. I just absolutely love that.
I love that. And I love that idea about my creative ability expanding to have capacity the same way. Yeah.
Because when I think about that, like the expansion and the capacity, like it has increased my ability to like hold, receive, do all that. So yeah, I like that. I like that thought of, I don't need to go any deeper. I understand. Now I just need to increase my ability to do, to receive, and to, So
to have it expanded. Yes. Maybe to really understand how to do the marketing so more people can hear about us.
Oh gosh. Don't even start
that
business.
Expansion, Well, Amplified, we have a great voice. We have a lot to say. We really make a difference in the lives of our clients. We have heard that time and time again. But the expansion, if you guys know somebody, hook them up because we do. There's so much here, so much good. So share so that it's expanded, amplified and expanded. And then we will all see more clearly and understand more deeply. Let's talk about compassion and hope, though. In the manifesto, it says, I'm lifted to compassion and hope. I saw a quote this week. I wish I could remember who it was. It's one of the great sages. And he said, when love meets suffering, so we've got love and suffering. When love meets suffering and stays loving, then we have compassion. Now, I had a hard weekend with my sweetheart again. It happens. Y'all heard about it before. And there was suffering involved. And so one of the things that I personally worked on with my creator during that period of time was to let my love meet his suffering and stay loving and to extend compassion. And by extending that compassion through the grace of my creator, it ended well. It was like we got to level up. In the past, my love has met his suffering with, oh, for Pete's sake, straighten up, fly right. Not a lot of love and compassion there. And, this is what 45 years of marriage will do for you. You eventually figure it out. So love meeting suffering with love really did change it to compassion. And then this morning, he was full of hope. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Lifted in that act.
A thought that came to me as you're talking about that is because sometimes that's what happens to me is like when I see somebody suffering, I come with love because, it's like I'm loving that they're suffering. But
Right.
instead of taking that moment, because I think compassion is also about being present in their suffering, in what's
Very much.
happening to them. I
There's
want
there's an element of
to,
empathy, right?
yeah, I want to go straight to fixing it. Like, I've got your answers, we're going to fix it, snap out of it or whatever. But
No.
that's not what compassion is.
Mm-mm.
And so it's like, it's like learning to, like, when they're in suffering, to sit with them and help them and just have compassion for what they are going through. So being present. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes I do that because I don't want to feel their suffering, because I know what suffering is. It's like we all know what a sufferer.
And feeling your suffering is making me feel bad. So can I just
Yeah,
fix
yeah.
it?
So let me just hurry and fix you. So neither of us have to feel this. But
Right.
that's not compassion.
Mm-mm. And
Yeah.
it's not what works. An element of a really great coach, and I've experienced this with you, because when I call you and I'll go and can I just dump, and what do you say? You don't say, oh, sweetie, if you did XYZ, it'll all be better. You say, oh, honey, that's hard. And that's exactly what I need to hear. I think that's what all of us need to hear at some point, is to be acknowledged that, yes, we're suffering, but just let us sit there and sit with us in company for a minute so we're not alone. And you know what happens to the nervous system when that happens, right? Everything chills out. And what is the flip your lid part?
Oh, the frontal lobe comes back on.
Right. The frontal lobe comes back on. And then all of
Your
a sudden, I
reasoning.
can fix my own problem.
Mhm.
Right. And so a really great coach knows when to sit in compassion and when to offer ideas.
Mhm.
But the work of the client is still the work of the client. Coaches don't fix it. Coaches just give you ideas and support while you fix it. And I think of our creator. He's like the master coach, right? Yeah, because he lets us fix it. He gives us ideas, and he lifts us with that compassion and hope.
That's why when I tell people, sometimes they get a little shocked, and I'm like, because I'll tell them, oh, I just had like a big gripe session with the Lord, and they're like, what? And I'm all like, don't you?
Did it smite you?
I know. Don't you feel comfortable going to Heavenly Father and just saying, this really is hard, and I don't like this, and just getting it out? Because He's okay with that, and then He's gonna, because for me, I get the kind of impression He's like, okay, are you done? Are you ready now? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lovingly, are you done?
Yes,
Are you ready
exactly.
now for some options?
Some options. Uh-huh.
Yes, I am. So yeah,
Okay, I have options tomorrow. Today, I just want to wallow.
yeah.
Yes, but that brings us, when we are lifted to compassion and hope, that's the next one. I am centered and powerful, walking with my creator. And it's a funny mix of humble and weak and empowered that baffles me, but just feels great.
Mhm.
Because when we're centered on our creator, that's our creator centered life, right? As opposed to being centered on ourself. When we're centered on ourself, all arrows point in, right? It's I'm not getting enough. I'm worried that there's not going to be any more. You did this to me. I was blamed. It's just all of the me, I, and it's all pointed in. But when we're centered on our creator, that's when we become powerful. All the C's. Can you quote the C's for us again?
Okay, so it's curiosity, it's calm, it's connected, it is clarity, creativity, courage, and compassion. Yeah, and we added some more. That we added, was it capability? We added.
It's my desktop, but I think I covered them up.
Hmm.
But so C's, and then I love Dr. Schwartz's P's.
I love the P's.
Because I feel like the persistence or the perseverance and the playfulness and the patience, still working on that one.
Perspective.
And the perspective, they all come in when we are centered in our creator, when we're creator centered. And so when I get into a situation where I'm feeling overwhelmed, if I can take a moment and check in with my creator and center there, I can sidestep all of the freak out.
Mhm.
And then, like you, I can try and get curious, or I definitely feel more confident when I walk with my creator. But it is a really funny mix. What do you think about the mix of humble, weak, and empowered when we are centered in him? It's like I have to, I fully rely on him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that brings me humility.
Yeah.
But yet at the same time, as I'm feeling humble and weak, I'm feeling really empowered
Well,
because I'm fully relying on him.
yeah, because of the trust in him. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's kind of, it's a partnership.
that is true. And when you're in partnership with God,
Yeah.
you know you're not going to fail.
Yeah. Something's better than me. It's leading this ship.
Yeah. So there it is. That's what makes it feel so great, because then I feel secure because I'm trusting in a partnership.
Mhm.
So today I will stay in his God flow, and I will be the creator of my life's experience. Let's talk about God flow. This is one of my very favorite experiences. When I am in God flow with him, it feels so, so good.
Mhm.
I've been practicing my certification for Tai Chi since January. So I'm 6 months in. And this morning, when I was in class and I was moving, my hands want to move so much more now. And they're just doing these different things. And but I could feel my whole body doing this dance. And it was a flow that felt never ending. It felt limitless. And I recognized it because it's the way I feel when I'm deep in reading and studying, or when I'm writing in the same God flow.
Mhm.
Do you experience that?
There have been times, yes. And it's like a synchronization of me and something else. But I know
Yes.
my body is involved.
Yes. Do you get that way when you're gardening?
I get
On a
that way when I'm gardening, or I get that way. Like I used, as a child, I would dance,
Mhm.
and as a young teenager, um,
And
and
you would go
it's,
there and dance.
and it's kind of like that. And I think that's what you're experiencing in your Tai Chi. It's like the
It
pattern,
is a dance. Yeah.
and it's like everything is just flowing together. And I've seen that flow in my life with other things, like you said, writing. To me, it's when I am working with a client and we're in that imagery space.
And 2 hours have passed and it feels like you just started.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
just, yeah. And so, and I've been trying to think about it. Like I feel that flow too sometimes when I'm doing a purposeful, I don't really do art, but I do like collage
Like
stuff,
collage, yeah. And your collage is
and I do other things. And so it's like this flow that you can kind of get into. And I think I've actually even, this is going to sound so strange, but I've
just
actually
saying.
experienced it when I've cleaned. I kind of get
Oh,
into,
me too. I get into flow.
I just
Yeah.
kind of, I know it needs to happen, and I just do all stuff and everything. So yeah.
When I clean, when I'm alone in my house and I clean, I get. But if there are people in my house while I'm cleaning, my flow is interrupted with them,
Yeah.
or thinking about working to make sure they're comfortable while I'm doing it. And I don't stay in flow.
And so my question though is, and this is where I've kind of been trying to think about it. Is there a difference between just being in flow and then being in God flow?
There is.
So that's, I think I've experienced the difference, but now I'm trying to distinguish, so I can,
God flow. I can always know when I'm in God flow because I say or write or think things that are smarter than I really am.
exactly. And you don't remember them after, so you can't write them down.
No, you can't. And you either have to stop and write them down really quick because they're actually inspiration.
Yes.
Or you lose them. One
Or
or the
you're
other.
just like, that was just supposed to be for that moment, for that individual.
Yeah, that's
for that
God.
experience. Yeah.
But when you choose to be the creator of your life experience, when you begin your day, that's why I love reading this when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning. It's the beginning of the day. And when I choose that, I experience more God flow in my. I also experience more apologies in the course of my day.
I wonder if it's because you have put yourself in an intentional state.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like an affirmation.
Yeah.
Today I choose. It's
Yeah.
like an and,
Instead of just going through the motions of this is my day, this is what I have to do, or this is what the day is. It's like that intentional. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very intentional. It also breaks out of the old thought patterns
Mhm.
because I'm introducing this new thought pattern. And so I'm no longer grumbling, or whether it's grumbling or most of the time it's thumbing through my mind of my little file in my mind of what do I have to do today?
Yeah.
And it stops and it gives me a completely different way of looking at what will happen in my day when I choose to be the creator and walk hand in hand. My day's much more purposeful. Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. You want to read the last line?
Yes. I've got to open up my phone again because that's where I have it. Okay. Um, Together we will do great things. I can and I will.
I don't know about you, but there is so much power for me in the last line. I mean, together we will do great things. That's like an affirmation of our partnership.
Mhm.
But for me to say I can is I have the power to do this with him. But for me to say I will takes me all the way back to the beginning of I choose.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes all the way around. So will you join me on the 30-day challenge?
Absolutely.
You join Jen and I, you who are listening today. I know there's a bunch of you out there. I just got an amazing email from Marcia this morning thanking me and saying she had read this and that this was truth. That's what she sent me. She made my whole day. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, it is truth. I agree. And so part of the power of it is speaking truth to yourself every morning and letting yourself expand.
Can I add something to that?
You absolutely can.
So if you want to make the practice even more powerful,
Mhm.
don't just read it. Say it out loud. When you voice words, there's a power there.
There is, you create
Yeah.
because your whole body is involved.
Yeah. And I mean, we create by thoughts first,
Mhm.
and then it's either an action or something. Well, speaking out loud is an action. So speak it into life. So read it. It's good to have it in your thoughts, but voice
Well,
it.
if you think about speaking things into life, I mean, isn't that just the way it works? You get an idea, you share it with somebody.
Mhm.
If you don't share it with somebody, there's not a whole lot of chance you're going to move forward. But when you speak it into life, you're going to do more with it. You may not actually accomplish it. Who knows what your steps will be, but it makes it real.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Speak it, say it out loud. I don't know if I'm brave enough to say it out loud, but I will try. Yeah.
I think
I,
there's a practice that we do in hypnotherapy when we teach people to do hypnotherapy for themselves. They
Mhm.
self hypnosis is that they take their affirmation and they speak it out loud. They not just in their mind. They can do the other steps in their mind, but they have to say it out loud.
Just so self-conscious, that somebody's going to hear me. And it's so crazy because there's only two other people in my household. That might be something else we have to coach and clear about.
Exactly.
Who knows? Maybe there was some modeling or some other experience in my life that just needs to be gone. Because it's not like me at all to be nervous about saying something out loud in the quiet of my own bathroom, right?
Especially if it's a truth.
It is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's speak it out loud and let's let our words bring it into being to make it. We'll do that. And I would love to tell all y'all about the book club, but I have no idea. So keep doing what you're doing. If somebody is in book club and you want to get the message out there, just shoot me an email and I would be happy to send it out to the Facebook group and let people know. JC was called away last minute for work. I mean, literally, I think she found out last night and she had to find flights and move and be there by this morning in time to go to work. So We just didn't get a chance.
Yeah.
Let me know if you know. Who knows? Maybe Jacine will let us know. Maybe she'll listen to the podcast this week. But we have that. And then on August 17th, and I know it feels like forever, but you guys, it's only 2 weeks till the 4th of July, not even 2 weeks till the 4th of July now. And I thought I had forever to get the 4th of July party together. And then after the 4th of July, it's like 5 weeks till August 17th or 6 weeks till August 17th. So please put it on your calendar. August 17th will be our second joy retreat. And the first one was just so nourishing and so moving and just so uplifting. I walked around for a good couple weeks after feeling much, much lighter for having been there and practiced with all of the women that attended and just sharing and connecting. Our connection made all the difference. Yeah. So August 17th, 9 a.m. on our Zoom link, and I'll be publishing the Zoom link. There's not any charge. This is what we're doing for people in our Jubilee year. This is our celebration of Jubilee. Our focus all year long is on joy and creating more joy in the world. You know, the mission of CMH Coaching is to fill the world with compassion, that's C, mindfulness, that's M, and hope, that's H, CMH. That's our mission, is to fill the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. But this year we have the added dimension going through the end of April of joy. We're celebrating. It's been 7 years. It's really something to celebrate that we have been so supported and so blessed to be able to continue to do this work for you. So join us. We'll celebrate together, August 17th, 9 a.m. And until next week, we will talk again about summer self-care. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the summer self-care emails aren't coming out till Thursday. That's just kind of a nice sweet break. Monday morning, you get the text that says, just a reminder, this is what's happening this week. Take a look. And there's generally a link that you can take a look. And then Thursday, the actual email comes out for you to continue to work. It's because with summertime, nobody should have another thing to do on Monday. So we just moved it to Thursday for a little bit extra break for the summer. They'll come back to Mondays in the fall. But for now, enjoy your summer. Enjoy your sunshine and get out there and run in the sprinkler a little bit, and have fun. Because that's what summer's for. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, Jen.
Oh, yes. You too.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hey, thanks for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on Linktree/CMHcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
With every little thought I think, I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think